Hey, y'all. Let's take a moment to slow down, create, and invite God into it. You don't have to be ready. You don't have to be perfect. Just come on.
Today, as we paint, I want to talk to you about something Jesus clearly thought was really important because he didn't just mention it once. He emphasized it right before everything changed. At the Last Supper, he's sitting with his disciples and he talks about how he's going to be betrayed by one of them. He talks about how he's going to be denied by Peter 3 times, all of that. And then right after, in John 13:34-35, he says, "A new command I give you. Love one another, as I have loved you. So you must love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another." And this wasn't said casually. This was one of Jesus' final commands before the cross. And if you think about it, when someone knows time is short, they don't waste words. They focus on what matters most. And here he's saying that even when people mess up, even when they hurt people that you love and you care about, the important thing is still love. So Jesus chose love of all things to talk about in his last moments, right? Not knowledge, not talent, not being right, but love. Now, another time that loving others is brought up is in Matthew 22:36-40. And here, Jesus is asked what the greatest commandment is. And he responds, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind." Loving a perfect God doesn't sound too hard, right? But then he follows that up with, "And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself." And that tells me something big. Loving others isn't optional or secondary. It's right up there with loving God. And honestly, that can feel real hard sometimes. People are messy. We're messy, just like this heart's messy there in the middle, right? But loving others doesn't always come naturally, especially when we're tired, hurt, or misunderstood. Sometimes we just want to be like, no, I'm not doing this, right? But Jesus didn't say love when it's easy. He said, "Love as I have loved you." That's patient, sacrificial, grace-filled. Such a challenge, but we can do it, right? He loves us even when we mess up, even when we don't make the right choices, even when we hurt him. He loves us anyway. Now, if you choose to paint this today or something else, I want you to think about this as you're painting, and really anytime you're painting. I want you to think about how every brush stroke is an act of intention. Now, sometimes it may not go where we expect or wanted it to go, right? Sometimes things go awry, but we're still intentionally picking up that brush, dipping it in that paint, and painting it on our picture, right? And love works the same way. It builds slowly, deliberately, imperfectly, for sure, but beautifully. So this week, I want to call y'all to action. I want to invite you to practice love on purpose. Maybe that looks like extending grace instead of reacting, or serving quietly without recognition, or maybe even forgiving when it would be easier to hold on. I want you to ask yourself, who can I love like Jesus today? In action, not just words. Let's finish this up with a short prayer. Jesus, thank you for loving us first, fully, generously, and without condition. Help us to love others the way you love us. Soften our hearts, open our eyes, and guide our actions this week. May our love point people back to you. Amen.
Well, I'd say it's perfectly imperfect. Remember, come as you are. God's waiting.